Hey everyone, this is Marty. We're on day 6 of Release, What's Weighing You Down. And Nadini, hopefully I'm saying that name right. What I want to do is releasing loneliness and shame. And I'm going to tap on this and for loneliness and shame that you're feeling in general, but I'm going to move this into how we can use, I'll talk about this. Sorry, I get phone calls, how we can use emotional eating and weight as protection, being protecting from shame. Those different ways that we choose that. And shame is huge. Shame in itself, hey Carrie, is a great emotion in that it lets us know, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that again. But when we become the shame, it's like the silent killer. And then the loneliness and isolation that we can feel, those two components together, we would isolate ourselves a lot more from others if we're feeling a lot of shame. And I think many of us have this deep, deep shame within us that it's hard to even get in touch with. And the thing is, I always say it this way, it's not really even our shame. It's just been handed down and down and down again from all the different avenues that we can get shame come from. Instead of believing that we're born these amazing, beautiful, divine beings, we take on, all this human conditioning and believe. I mean, I know from my own, and I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe, but when I think about in my upbringing, I'm this innocent baby and I'm born completely sinful and shameful, and I have to be baptized to free myself from that as an infant. And I remember as a child being terrified when I heard that an infant had died and wasn't baptized. I personally, this is Marty Murphy's personal opinion, I think that's abuse. To have a child in terror and fear. When I look at babies now, I'm like, there's no way for me that that's true. And again, I'm not here to tell anybody else what to believe or how to believe, but I know from my own upbringing, shame, I couldn't get away from it. I mean, I was trying to run away from it in every different way that I knew how. And when that gets embedded in your nervous system, you're going to eat to avoid it. And all the different programming that I got. And then when I had certain behaviors that I did that would be considered completely shameful from my upbringing, oh my God, it's interesting. When I tapped through, somebody keeps trying to call me, when I tapped through my shame, it was interesting that I had physical symptoms disappear. Hey, Karen. Carrie and Karen, I love it. I had physical symptoms that had been plaguing me leave my body when I tapped through the belief that I should be ashamed of myself. So let's dive in and tap. Karate chop. Even though I carry this shame and this loneliness, because when I feel shame, I feel really lonely. Like I'm the only one dealing with this. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though I had shame embedded in my psyche, in my nervous system, a long time ago. I accept myself anyway now. Even though when I'm feeling shame, I don't often even realize that I'm feeling it. Maybe it comes up through loneliness. Because when I'm in shame, I feel like I'm the only person in the world that feels this way. I accept myself and my feelings now. All this shame, all this loneliness racing through my nervous system, totally taking me over. I learned to believe that I should feel ashamed of myself for so many different reasons. Maybe even just for being. And what if the truth is, as weird as this may sound, it's actually not even my shame? What if it's been handed down to me from so many different people, maybe even different institutions? All kinds of possibilities. Am I really supposed to feel ashamed of myself? Like the kind of shame that sticks to me, that stays around. There is healthy shame. Ooh, I might not have said that. Okay, I'll do better next time. That kind of shame. But to believe that I'm totally shameful, that I should feel ashamed of myself, is that really even true? Because depending on whatever I believe in, if it's God, if it's the universe, if it's the divine, if it's Source, if it's Fred Flintstone, if it's the dinosaurs, if it's just a wiser part of me, what if it's possible that this being has never really wanted me to stay stuck in shame? What if I could consider that? What if shame is meant to be felt and released when appropriate? But I kind of think I learned to become shame, to actually be it. That's a very different experience. And when I feel so much shame, it feels like the loneliest feeling in the world. Like there's just something so wrong with me. And that's why I should feel this shame. And what if that's not true at all? What if it's possible for me to release this belief that I should be ashamed of myself? What if I'm a human being in a human body and a spiritual being, and I'm walking this rope between these two worlds? And what if it's possible that I can embrace my human emotions, feel them, and move on from them? Because when I stay stuck in shame, no wonder I feel so lonely. Because I'm convinced there's just something so wrong with me. And I'm really open to healing this belief now. because this could really free me more and more over time from having to anesthetize myself from my shame. In whatever way I've learned to do that. And what if I can start to remember the truth that I'm a brilliant, beautiful being who can feel feelings and release them. I may not believe that yet, but boy, I like the sound of it. Because I definitely know I've beat myself up a lot. And what if today is a day that I step on the path to begin to free myself more fully from shame? And what if by freeing myself from shame, I free myself from loneliness? I kind of like that idea a lot. And take a breath. So Nadini too, and Karen, I find those two are so interrelated, and I really, this is just, Marty Murphy's personal opinion. I do think when we feel a lot of shame, it does elicit loneliness because we think, oh my God, I'm the only one on the planet that feels this way or thinks this. And so it's really something good to pay attention to. So hope you found this helpful. Always love to see you here live, ladies, and see you next time. Bye for now.